Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Get ready to explore the wild world of evolution. Let's start with a big one. Random genetic mutations. These are changes in the DNA sequence that occur without any specific cause. They can happen during cell division due to environmental factors, or even as a result of cosmic rays. Random changes in DNA create variations, some beneficial, some not so much. These variations can lead to new traits in organisms, which can be passed down to future generations. Some of these traits might help an organism survive better in its environment, while others might be harmful or neutral. But some scientists argue that relying solely on these random mutations to explain the complexity of life is like trying to write a novel by smashing your keyboard. They believe that while random mutations do play a role, there must be other factors at work to account for the intricate designs we see in nature. Take the human eye, for example. Did it really come about through random genetic typos? The eye is an incredibly complex organ with many interdependent parts working together to create vision. Some scientists suggest that such complexity is unlikely to arise from random mutations alone. It's enough to make your head spin. The idea that something as intricate as the human eye could be the result of random changes in DNA is hard to wrap your head around. It's this kind of complexity that keeps the debate about the role of random mutations in evolution alive. Scientists continue to study and discuss how much of life's diversity can be attributed to random genetic changes and how much might be due to other mechanisms such as natural selection, genetic drift, and gene flow. The conversation is ongoing and new discoveries are constantly being made, adding more pieces to the puzzle of life's origins and evolution. Let's talk fossils, those stone-cold detectives of the past. Darwin's theory predicts a gradual transition from one species to another, but there are gaps, missing links where those transitional forms are absent. It's like watching a movie with key scenes cut out. Critics point to these gaps as evidence that the theory is incomplete, and you know what? They might be onto something. Let's dive into the intricate world of biology. We're talking about biological systems so complex it's hard to imagine how they could have evolved gradually. This is the crux of the irreducible complexity argument. Critics argue that these systems point to the need for a designer. Proponents of evolution counter that these systems may have evolved through different pathways, and that, my friends, is the beauty of science. One of the cornerstones of Darwin's theory is the idea that evolution is a constant, gradual process. But what about those times when evolution seems to hit the pause button? This phenomenon, known as stasis, refers to long periods where species show little to no evolutionary change. The prevalence of stasis raises questions about the pace and nature of evolution. Life on Earth is ridiculously diverse, from the lush rainforest teeming with countless species of plants and animals to the vibrant underwater coral reefs bustling with marine life. The variety is astounding. While Darwin's theory posits that all species descend from a common ancestor, some critics argue that the sheer variety of life might require additional mechanisms beyond natural selection. The tree of life, with its myriad branches, illustrates the vast expanse of biodiversity that has evolved over millions of years. Some scientists believe that other forces like genetic drift and epigenetic changes might be at play. Genetic drift, which refers to random changes in the frequency of alleles in a population, can lead to significant evolutionary changes over time. Epigenetic changes, on the other hand, involve modifications in gene expression without altering the underlying DNA sequence. Natural selection remains a cornerstone, but it might not be the whole story. Darwin's finches, for example, are a classic case of natural selection, where different beak shapes evolved to exploit different food sources. However, this is just one piece of the puzzle. The diversity of life could be the result of a complex interplay of factors. It's not just about survival of the fittest, it's also about how species interact with each other and their environment. The interconnected food web in nature shows how every organism, no matter how small, plays a crucial role in maintaining the balance of ecosystems. Understanding this intricate web of life requires a holistic approach, considering all possible influences that contribute to the rich tapestry of biodiversity we see today. Let's talk about Darwin's main squeeze, natural selection. While natural selection is a powerful force, modern science suggests it's not the only player in the game of evolution. Genetic drift and environmental factors also play significant roles. Evolution is a complex dance, and natural selection is just one partner. By understanding all the factors involved, we can get a more complete picture of how life on Earth evolved. Let's get down to the building blocks of life genes. While random mutations are part of the equation, they might not fully explain the large-scale evolutionary leaps we see. Epigenetics and horizontal gene transfer are other mechanisms that might be at play. The genetic mechanisms driving evolution are incredibly complex. It's like exploring a vast, uncharted continent, with each discovery leading to more questions. Evolutionary sprinters. Sometimes evolution seems to sprint ahead, like the rapid adaptation of antibiotic resistance in bacteria. These rapid adaptations challenge the notion of evolution as a slow and steady process. Strong selective pressure and short generation times can drive these evolutionary sprints. Evolution can be a speed demon when it wants to be. Is evolution directed? This question has intrigued scientists and thinkers for generations. What if evolution isn't just a random process, but a more directed one? Could there be underlying mechanisms guiding the course of evolution? The idea of directed evolution suggests that evolutionary trends might be influenced by internal or external factors. These factors could range from genetic predispositions to environmental pressures that shape the way species evolve over time. Developmental bias and niche construction are examples of this. Developmental bias refers to the idea that certain traits are more likely to evolve due to the inherent properties of developmental processes. Niche construction, on the other hand, involves organisms actively modifying their environment, which in turn affects their own evolution. The concept of directed evolution is still debated within the scientific community. While some researchers argue that it offers a compelling explanation for certain evolutionary patterns, others caution that more evidence is needed to support these claims. Some scientists remain skeptical, while others believe it deserves further investigation. They argue that understanding whether evolution is directed could have profound implications for fields ranging from biology to medicine. It might help explain some of the patterns we see in the fossil record. For instance, the sudden appearance of complex traits or the rapid adaptation of species to new environments could be better understood through the lens of directed evolution. As research continues, the debate over directed evolution will likely persist. But one thing is certain: the quest to understand the forces shaping life on Earth is far from over. Whether evolution is directed or not, the journey to uncover the mysteries of our natural world remains as fascinating as ever. The limits of laboratories. Studying evolution in a lab is challenging because it's hard to replicate the grand scale of evolutionary processes. Laboratory experiments are limited in scope and time. To understand the big questions about evolution, we rely on other lines of evidence like the fossil record and genetics. Evolution is a complex process that requires evidence from multiple disciplines. Outro Evolution, the never-ending story. Remember to subscribe and activate the bell for more mind-blowing explorations of the universe. Until the next time, keep those brains buzzing.